Well, we lead now with big news from our nation's capital as the Democrats get ready to hand over power in the House. One final piece of action before that happens. Ohio Republican Jim Jordan among a list of 4 lawmakers today that the January 6th committee issued a referral to the House Ethics Committee for. That all happened this afternoon for not complying with a congressional subpoena. They also issued a criminal referral to the DOJ for former President Donald Trump for his role in an attempt to overturn the 2020 election results. NBC's Alice Barr breaks down what happened today during the last hearing and what may happen next.
In a move for the history books, a House committee today recommending criminal charges against former President Trump, accusing him of obstructing an official proceeding, conspiracy to defraud the government, conspiracy to make a false statement, and inciting or assisting an insurrection in the deadly January 6th Capitol attack.
The work of this committee will help provide a roadmap to justice.
The referrals to the Department of Justice hold no legal weight, but they represent the committee's final conclusions after an 18-month investigation. This video summarizing that work that included more than 1,200 interviews and sifting through hundreds of thousands of documents.
I only need 11,000 votes.
It's the committee's last public presentation laying out their case that former President Trump sought to illegally overturn the results of the 2020 election and directed an angry mob of supporters to the Capitol.
We were invited by the President of the United States!
For hours, he would not issue a public statement instructing his supporters to disperse.
The committee today referring members of Congress who defied subpoenas to the House Ethics Committee, also recommending charges against others in the Trump orbit. The Justice Department alone will decide whether to file any charges, but analysts believe referrals from a mostly partisan committee could complicate the process.
It looks in some quarters like they're acting at the behest of the committee, even though I don't believe they would be.
Former President Trump, who's announced plans to run again in 2024, has long attacked the committee, calling its members, quote, corrupt cowards who hate our country. The committee insists its aim is to bring accountability, protect democracy, and ensure the peaceful transfer of power in future elections. The committee is set to release its final written report just a little bit later this week that could include transcripts from some witness depositions, and then Republicans are expected to come out with a lengthy and detailed rebuttal. Jay?
Alice, you mentioned the fact that many Republicans look at the committee and they point immediately to the fact that there wasn't the proper Republican representation on that committee. So now, as I understand it, there are 3 options that the DOJ has. Any idea where we go from here?
Well, really, today was about passing the baton. That is the way that the committee members put it off to the DOJ, the Department of Justice. So from this point on, it is up to them whether to file charges against anyone involved. We don't know yet all of the names that could be included in the Trump orbit. There's others, basically was how it was put, along with the attorney, John Eastman. So it remains to be seen who else even is being suggested for a criminal referral. And then it's up to the Department of Justice to decide whether to file any charges in the end. And there are kind of these questions about the walls between the House committee, even making the referrals, how that looks for then whatever the Justice Department decides to do independently. And also the question of whether some of these transcripts are going to be released. Potentially you're going to have a whole lot of evidence now out in the public domain that the Justice Department would probably prefer to have under wraps as it continues its criminal investigation.
Yeah. Interesting indeed. We'll continue watching. Alice Barr live from our nation's capital. Alice, thanks.